Hi guys, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins, and it occurred to me the other day, there's probably a lot of people who watch these videos who are not Kennedy Violins customers. So when they buy a violin, their violin is not set up and ready to go. It's probably in pieces. There's some assembly required. In fact, probably the majority of violins that are purchased on the internet or Amazon are probably in pieces and need to be assembled. And I thought, well, since I have set up tens of thousands of violins in my lifetime, I can probably be of some assistance. In fact, there's a couple tricks I can show you guys that'll help you not only set up your violin, but have it, working way better than it would otherwise by reading some, confusing instructions. So first of all, you'll have your violin, and more than likely the strings will be loose, but they will be attached at the tailpiece and probably attached at the pegs, but they'll just be kind of flopping around. And then you'll have a bridge. It'll probably be wrapped in paper. It'll either be in the compartment in your case, or it'll be underneath the tailpiece here probably. So just unwrap your bridge, and now we want to stick the bridge in. Now your bridge is asymmetrical. If it's even remotely cut properly for your violin, it'll be asymmetrical, meaning it'll have a lower part and a taller part here on the bridge. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have this taller part here. G string is the fatter string, so as you're playing the violin and looking at it, it's the string on the left. Okay, so that's going to go on the G string portion. Okay, so it's a little bit awkward me showing you how to do this because I have to do it with strange angles because of the cameras and whatnot, but hopefully you'll get the gist. So what you're going to want to do is figure out where to put the bridge, right? It goes in here somewhere, right? Now, what you're going to have to get correct is the spacing this way and the spacing this way, and I'll show you how to do that. So on your violin you have two F-holes, and you have little notches on your F-holes. These notches tell you where the bridge goes this way. So you have one notch is taller than the other one. What your goal is to actually get this bridge in between those notches. So what you want to do using your thumb and index finger is you're going to, tall portion on the G side, you're going to want to put the feet down, and now put the strings that are loose on the notches on top of this bridge. Those notches are where your strings go, and hopefully they're evenly spaced. Now that you've got those strings on those notches, now you're going to simply lift that bridge. You don't need to move your feet, just lift it with your thumb and index finger into place. So it's basically straight. And that's about all there is to it. Okay, so now that you've got it basically in the spot, now you want to get it straight, get it this way correct and this way correct. So I'm going to kind of eye it here, get it in between those F-hole notches, and then also look at the gap here between the bridge and the edge of the fingerboard, the bridge and the fingerboard, F-hole, right? So look at this gap here, make sure it's even. So now that you've got it basically even, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. Now this is an important little trick. A lot of times when you tighten those pegs to try to get the violin in tune, those pegs will want to unwind, and it's super frustrating because your violin will not want to stay in tune. And there's an easy trick that you can do. So since you've got the strings on here, they're kind of loose, already on the violin, now you want to rewind those strings on the peg properly so the pegs don't slip. So what you want to do is grab that string, put a little bit of tension on it, and unwind it. I'm starting with the G string here. Now I'm going to unwind it so it's on that string about one time around that string. Now I'm going to force that string to wind against the sides of the scroll box. That's going to create a wedge effect, so that peg is not going to want to slip. So I'm going to push that string over towards the peg that I'm turning. Okay, and now I'm going to wind that string back, but I'm pushing the peg in while I'm turning it. The harder you push that peg, the more difficult it will be for that peg to turn, so you decide. Okay, I'm making sure that I have that string in the notch on the bridge and the notch on the nut. Okay, so I tighten it. You don't have to get the pitch right right now. Just, put some decent tension on the string so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so now I'm just going to repeat that process. I'm going over the D string, unwind the peg so it's on the peg about one turn, over towards the peg that I'm turning, retighten it, push the peg in while you're turning it, all right? Get it in the notch of the bridge, the notch in the nut here. Okay, now I'm just going to do it again for the A string. Okay, over towards the peg that I'm turning, push in while you turn. All right, notch in the bridge, notch in the nut. Same with the E string. Now on your E string, you might have a little tiny piece of plastic on your E string. That piece of plastic goes underneath the string where it contacts the bridge. That's to keep the E string from biting into your bridge. So I have some other videos how to install a string on a violin, I think. You'll want to have that little plastic insert underneath the string where it contacts the bridge. You can just move it around if you have that plastic insert. Hopefully you do, because you should. This violin doesn't, actually. I don't know where it went. Probably had to change the string and it fell off. I don't know. Okay, so now that you have some tension on all these strings, now you're free to tune it. You can use a keyboard, a piano, a pitch pipe, an electronic tuner, but I usually, I tune it by fifths. In tune, but I'm just kind of trying to show you guys. Now, once you get some tension on a string, get that bridge and make sure it's straight, because when you tune the strings, it's going to want to pull that bridge forward and it's going to lean. So you want to keep on straightening up that bridge. Okay, and that's about it. So we've got a pretty good amount of tension on the strings, and now the strings are going to want to stretch a lot. So the first 24 to 48 hours, you're going to have to keep on tuning that violin and keep on checking that bridge to make sure it's straight up and down. You have that 90 degree between the back of the bridge and the top of the violin. It should be a 90 degree. Don't judge whether the bridge is straight or not by the front of the bridge and the top of the violin, because there's an optical illusion caused by the fact that the front of the bridge is kind of shaped like this, if it's carved correctly anyway. But the back of the bridge, if it's straight, which it should be, as far as being carved flat, it should be a 90 degree between the back of the bridge and the top of the violin. So you look for this, from here to here, from here to here. Okay, good. The next thing is the bow. Now the bow, more than likely, you have one or two bows, and you get it out of the case by turning a little spinner here. It just kind of spins around. So you want to spin that so you can release the bow. So just move it out and pull it out like this. It's probably wrapped in plastic, I would assume. And it probably does not have any rosin on it. Now, if you bought a Kennedy Violins outfit, we do pre-rosin the bows, so they'll work. You might have to add some rosin to it, but the bows will function and it'll be a lot easier for you to add rosin later on. But if you got a brand new bow that has zero rosin on it, which most companies do send bows out with no rosin, then it's going to be a little tough to get rosin on that bow for the first time. So I'm going to show you a trick. So we want to tighten the bow. Now the hair is touching the wood of the bow because it's loose. So we're going to counterclockwise turn the screw on the bow. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. We're going to turn that until we have about a pinky between the hair and the wood of the bow. Now you don't want to over tighten it because things will start breaking. Okay, so now that the bow is tight, now we want to put some rosin on it. You probably got a rosin cake, something like this. Maybe a little bit smaller, but it's probably light colored and it's hard. It's made out of tree sap. This is going to make the bow sticky, so your violin will make some sound. Now, if you have a brand new bow and a brand new rosin cake, the rosin will not want to adhere to the hair on your bow. So there's a little trick that you want to use. You want to scratch the top of that rosin. You can use a paper clip, a fork, a knife, sandpaper, fingernail file, or the back of your bow. So don't push too hard, you'll chip your rosin, but go in circles, go horizontal, go vertical. What this is doing is it's putting little channels in the top of your rosin and it's creating some rosin dust. that is going to create a situation where your rosin wants to go on this brand new horsehair a lot better. So now, you're gonna go up and down like this. I usually guide the bow with one finger and then apply the pressure with the hand I'm holding the bow with. Now, if it's a brand new bow, you'll probably have to do this 30 to 50 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 30 to 50 times to get that initial amount of rosin. Now, if your bow already has rosin on it, you'll probably have to only go up and down the bow 7 to 10 times and maybe rosin your bow every 3 to 6 hours of playing, I'd say. Okay, so after that's done, now when you run the bow across the strings, it'll make a lot of noise. Okay, and it'll also make a big old mess of rosin dust. Just wipe the rosin off with a soft cloth. You want to use, microfiber or t-shirt material or just soft cotton cloth to just wipe that rosin off the strings and the violin. If you do that, every time you put your violin away, your violin will stay looking new for a long time. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys. Oh, by the way, when you put your bow away, always loosen your bow. Always loosen your bow. Every time you put your bow away, you want to loosen it. Okay, so that's about it, guys. I hope this video was of some help. And if you want any other videos done, just make a comment, in the comments section. And if you have any suggestions or what have you, and don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to be doing a lot of videos here these days. And so I'm hoping to answer you guys' questions and try to be of some kind of help. And of course, as always, at Kennedy Violins, we're all players and teachers. So feel free to contact us anytime. We're always happy to help. Thanks.